Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back. When people talk about Southeast Asia expansion, Thailand and Vietnam almost always enter the conversation. But operating in this market is very different from simply targeting them. This session brings together operators with direct market experience to discuss what brokers and fintech firms need to realistically understand before expanding into Thailand and Vietnam. Please welcome our moderator, content strategist of the Ultimate Group, Jonathan Fine. Jonathan, the stage is yours.
Thank you. Hi, everyone. Thank you for coming right after lunch. We are here to talk about a topic that people talk a lot about, but know little about. And we will do in a fairly short conversation the opposite and share as much information as we can. And in the era of AI with ChatGPT and Perplexity, there is this illusion that you can just type in anything and you'll just get the information. But this panel is an example of how you must have first-hand, boots on the ground sort of experience to succeed, especially in unique markets like the ones we're here to talk about. And I'm happy to sit here with two experts who represent two different countries, two different phases of broker growth, and they were kind enough to share their information. Hi again. Could you please introduce yourself, explain what you do, and maybe to kick things off, one thing you don't like or maybe even hate in the culture, business, competition, or market you operate in?
All right. Thank you for the introduction. Hello, everyone. My name is TC. I'm the CEO of SCCM. SCCM is a multi-asset trading platform in the region. Over to you.
So, hello everyone. Thank you, Jonathan, for having us today. So my name is Yanis. I'm with a company called Versus Trade. We're a relatively new CFD broker. And my part of the business is to take care of Thai and Lao markets.
Okay, we're quite mild on what we don't like, which is okay. To get us all on the same page, perhaps we can start with some figures. What do you would consider a good FTD and LTV, first-time deposit and lifetime value of clients in your respective regions? Just for us to get the nuts and bolts of figures.
Wait, Jonathan. I think we skipped the dislike.
Oh no, I thought you'll say it in the name. Okay, so you know what? Great. Let's do that.
Okay, maybe so I will start first. So if actually I don't really have any dislike for the region or the market that I've been doing so far. But if you really want to talk about one thing, I think the key thing is about people. So I would say the local talent, which is the people in every country, every market that we are trying to do, is very important. Once you hire a wrong guy, it will create, trust me, so many freaking problems for you and the company. So, yeah.
The wrong person. Yanis?
Yeah.
I would agree with TC on this one. And if I have to add something from my side, I would say that there is a lot of noise in the market and you have to stay focused on the things that really matter and can bring you some reasonable business in a long term, other than maybe abuse.
Which we'll get to soon.
Yeah, so let's not jump to that right now. And another thing is maybe that it's a cultural thing that I might dislike a little bit. It's not a clear path to strong commitment. So it's always fogged out. You never really understand. Do you have the deal? Do you have the agreement? Because it's like saying yes culture. Everyone will agree, but that doesn't mean that they agree.
I see. Yes, that doesn't live up to the expectation. So we said the important thing is the business. So what would you consider, again, just to put us on the same platform here, a good FTD and LTV in Vietnam and Thailand, respectively?
Okay, let me start with Vietnam first. I would say for Southeast Asia, the FTD, again, is very different figure for every single country. So for example, especially the Southeast Asia, if you compare to like Europe and maybe China, the figure actually much smaller, as we all know. So, example for Vietnam, I would say for SCCM, our average FTD is around between $50 to 1,000.
Okay.
And then if you're talking about the LTV, If you can get 2,000 to 5,000, I would say you're lucky.
Okay. How about you,
Yeah.
Yanis? How does it look from Bangkok?
It's very similar, and especially if we talk about FTDs, people are normally testing you with small amounts. So they are not coming in and committing and going all in. So they will start with $50, $100 deposit. They will test how fast the withdrawal works, how fast the deposit works, and they will check what kind of other obstacles you put in their way. Like, do you request some KYC procedure steps? Is your customer support responsive? They will check the overall setup before they are committing to larger numbers. And lifetime value, anything between $500 to $5,000, I think it's reasonable.
Yeah, so if I may just throw in another metrics. I'm
Sure.
not sure whether you guys or the audience heard about this, which a friend of mine shared with me, which I think is a very important measurement. It's called RPM, revenue per million. So I would say actually this one also as important as the FTD and the LTV. Why? Because it measures how good is your flow, the quality of your flow, not just the size of your flow. So it measures basically how a broker makes, how much it makes for every 1 million per client trading volume.
Okay.
Okay, so I can share with you, again, for ACCM, okay, the number is between 30 to 50, which I think is very reasonable. If you get any number bigger than 50, I would say it's very, very excellent.
Okay.
And
So
then
if I
anything
open a
below-
broker,
Yeah, anything below 30, maybe you need to have a conversation with your sales.
okay. So we talked about the numbers and deposits. Let's talk a bit about how we get them. It was very interesting in our preparation call that you both sketched out three models of acquisition. I will do the naming. One is the Exnesses of the world that do mostly online and acquire this way. The other is IB heavy business. And the third is some sort of a combination or hybrid that do a little bit of this and a little bit of that, and you don't understand how they survive. So we can, that's what you two said. So if we want to focus on the IB side, can you share a bit, and we can start with you, how you manage relationships at scale, because you have something in the ballpark of 20 to 200, 250 IBs. Obviously, we're not all created the same. So how do you manage relationships at scale with high touch and tiered approach?
Okay, let me start again. For Vietnam, for ACCM again, definitely let's not try to kick ourselves, okay? For Southeast Asia, at least I would say, is an IB market. You definitely need IB. So if let's say you want to build relationship with IB, then definitely it's a high touch market, right? So if you want to build a high touch relationship for all these market, especially Thailand, Vietnam, then you need the local team, okay? And then that's why, the first question I answer is the local talent very important. So you need a local face, speak the local language, and then these people, they can help to source for the IB locally.
Yes. So
Yeah.
Yanis, maybe you can comment about the relationship between foreign and local in this sense. We said that there are some things that only the locals can do, but not all of them. Can you explain how it looks from your end?
So yeah, I would agree to the same that I would even add more. I would say that it's close to impossible to do business without a local team and to be successful because the market is quite saturated nowadays, and everyone, every player in the market, they have a lot of choices out there. So if we talk about employees, if we talk about IBs, which are the core components for your success, they have a lot of choices. So there are like close to, I would guess, maybe 100 brokers currently working in Thai market. If you do not give what they want, they say, okay, thank you, it was nice meeting you, right? So it's not like they're desperate and looking for you,
And
right?
what is the most important thing for them? Is it personal client service? Is it gala events for invite only? What both of you see as the most important thing for your IBs?
Okay, just now you mentioned like foreign versus local, right? So because I have been flying around for the last few months, China, Philippines, Vietnam, Thailand, Malaysia. So the foreign face as a CEO, it helps, okay? Because a lot of all these local IBs, although they trust, maybe they see that they heard about your brand, but it's not good enough. They want to see like someone really from the company itself, and it's not a local face. That's important, but a foreign face in that case also can be important. Yeah.
Okay. How about you?
Yeah, foreign face adds the trust factor because historically, if we look back at happenings in Southeast Asian markets, there is a lot of scam going around, and it has been giving some sort of like not so good attachment to the industry, even though the scam is mostly never related to trading itself. It's like some Ponzi schemes or whatsoever, but people have this kind of association. And if you are coming with a foreign leadership team that is showing their faces openly, that is there to represent the company, it definitely gives them this trust factor. They know that it's like a really global company or at least regional company, and that they are professionally managed, not some kind of sketchy
Right.
local project.
It is here today and gone tomorrow. We talked about trust, and that spills quite naturally into two factors that are important. The fact that the first is risk, and the second is regulation, kind of the problem and the solution. About risk, we talk a lot in this conference about market risk in the sense of geopolitical events and so on. But we know that there's also another type of risk, which is trader behavior or trader abuse. Risk. I think the most famous case is something I will spare you mentioning, but I will do it. I'm old enough to remember a certain broker's offices in Cyprus and China being stormed by angry traders with knives even. And my question is, how can you avoid that?
So there are some unwritten rules in the market, maybe that we would not discuss here today on the stage, that you just have to take the market as a whole and you have to accept the rules of the game. So if you want to operate in the market, you have to understand it first. Then it's your decision point. Either you accept these rules or you don't play the game. So you accept the rules. That's step number 2. And third, you start building. And even if you are doing that, it doesn't guarantee anything, because especially as a newcomer to the market, you will be having target on your back from the side of abusers.
Yeah,
they will test you.
That was an interesting point for me. I was not thinking about it, that the new broker is immediately signed off as prey. So how does risk management looks from the up-and-coming broker's perspective?
Well, I'm not so much involved into the risk management of the business, but as I'm closely working with our risk management team, of course, because we see cases from time to time. And I think the best cure for that is just to be aware, just to learn from all the cases that we face in the market, automate things like red flags or some triggers on the risk management side. You can use AI tools that there are many companies represented here that are offering these kind of solutions. And you have to work closely with your sales teams to educate them as well. Because not every dollar, not every partner that they mean is necessarily something that the company wants.
How about you, TC? You set up both Vantage and Multibank across Southeast Asia. You've gathered, I'm sure, your fair share of stressful moments. How do you approach risk management?
Yeah, so we are living in 2026 now, so it's no different from you opening a shop outside. There will be good and bad customers, right? So the bad customer will try to do all things funny, try to cheat on your money, anything. And then as a company, I can just share with you that you must have a robust system, especially in risk and dealing, so that to catch all these bad customers. Definitely we have a full set of rules that we want every single customer to be abide with. So if you're not go with the rules, we'll catch you, and then we'll do whatever we can. It's all in the disclaimer and the KYC, the agreement that the client signed with us.
So is risk management ties in directly with market events, in leverage and so on, or not necessarily? Is it more with bonuses and so on? What do you identify as the key risk management or generally source for headaches in your market?
All sorts of
I can comment maybe on what I have seen, like
Yeah.
because market is at least Thai market, it's requesting swap-free accounts, it's requesting deposit or credit bonuses, and those are some two things to mention as an example that are a potential target for abusers.
And how do you go about it? You ensure that they like what? Okay, we've identified the problem, and then what's the next step there? Or is it not for this forum?
Well, it's again, it's not you're always gonna be exposed to some risk, right? So that's how the industry works. So the only thing you can do is to think about potential corner cases when you are designing the product for the market. I would suggest that maybe don't go crazy and follow the players that are offering 100% deposit bonuses for up to $10,000. That's a potential killer for your company. And you just learn it as you develop the product.
The hard way.
Yeah, the hard way. Unless you have source of knowledge of some other brokers that you can use for yourself, you learn it the hard way by doing it.
Great. And the other side of risk could be considered regulation. On this, my question is, what do you advise for brokers or otherwise industry participants who look at Thailand and Vietnam and try to prepare for the next 2-3 years? What do you see changing within the regulators? Maybe you can start by setting up how it looks today and what sort of conversations you have with regulators, or otherwise, how do they view the industry and what's coming?
Okay, I'll start with Vietnam first. So I think everybody can see that Vietnam now has gotten this emerging market status from FTSE Russell, right? And I think everything is, I mean, the potential and the economy, everything is looking so good for Vietnam at the moment. But unfortunately, if you ask me, there isn't any so-called clear CFD or Forex license regime now in Vietnam. I think same thing for Thailand. So what do we do? If you're really thinking about going into this market, you can, but be careful. So what we're doing is you simply go in as an offshore licensed CFD broker. Example, SCCM, this is what we do. So what it means is that although we don't have sort of legal license in Thailand, Vietnam, but we do have other license like ASIC, Australia, UK, FCA, or any other license that you might have.
How mindful are these FTD $50 to $1,000 to the regulator? Do they know to say, do they go to the TNC like I do in my news hat and say, oh, they're only in Santa Lucia and not in the FCA? Or is it present in the conversation?
Yes, I would say in this time of age, a lot of the IB, especially the big IBs, they would definitely look at, what kind of license you have, how many licenses you have. Are these licenses tier 1, tier 2, tier 3, or in some other island they don't even know or heard of. So it's kind of important to them right now. Yeah. And I would say all this will help. And another thing is they will try to test your system. For example, they will deposit 100 today, and immediately after 5 minutes later, they will do a withdrawal and see how soon or how fast they will get it back into their bank.
Ever since starting in the industry, my geography skills has improved exponentially. I've learned about so many new places. How does it look from your end, Yanis? The same question about importance of specific regulation, the pressure to obtain one before you act, and so on.
It definitely helps you because there are different segments of clients that you can approach. However, you can also start with like an offshore license because it's mostly as a credibility factor for certain clients that require maybe some tier 1 licenses in your portfolio. However, if you lack one at the moment, you can still work. You can build your trust with different ways. And the most important trust factor, I would say, is the local team, the local faces that you put in front of your company that are really working with IBs and with the clients. So because the markets are very trust relationship and community based, so it's very important to have these direct relationships.
That's very interesting. And one area which was interesting for me is the integration of AI in markets that are highly personal, highly localized. How well versed are your clients in AI, and does it make sense to have anything from a chatbot to a screener and all these, or is it more half manual and gold directed? I know your volumes are somewhere in the 91% gold-ish. So how open are your investors? I know are doing an interesting thing with comparison between two assets or even real-world companies. So my question here is how open are your audiences to AI specifically and product innovation as a whole?
For SCCM, I think you're right. So even during the war time now, we do see some traction in terms of volume search for like the oil. But if it's nothing still compared to our gold trading volume. So almost 3/4 from our volume still come from gold. I think, I'm not sure about other brokers, but I think if you're talking about Asia market, definitely everyone loves gold.
Yeah, it's
right?
a gold business in disguise, yes.
Yeah, so in terms of AI, what my company has been doing or trying to do is, although it's internally, we are not yet really push out to our clients externally. But internally, what we do is that for now, we have this, previously we used a system, third-party system, for the sales or for the so-called sales support group between the sales and every other department within the company to talk to each other and to solve problem for the clients. Right now, we are using our internal, we wrote a bot. Okay, so this bot, like, it will work 24 hours, even when our CS support customer service team is asleep. But someone will still try to answer the inquiries, the questions that, you know, the salesperson asks about, you know, the commission, where's the commission, where can I withdraw this, where can I check this. So they will work seamlessly for 24 hours.
And does the localization language-wise creates problems, or is it seamless, or is it just in English?
Unfortunately, yes, it's only English for now.
Unfortunately, English. Good answer. How about you, Yanis? How does AI look like for Versus?
So we are also trying to use the same applications like as everyone, and the easy first picks are the chatbots as for automation. However, Thai language is very specific, and it's very hard to do the automatic translation. So it always requires some human moderator to double check it. Also, like if we talk about AI applications where we can use it, it's of course for the content creation, for our social media marketing, for visuals and for texts. Going forward, out of my experience from other companies that where we can use this application is for automating let's say to optimize our ad campaigns. I have been using with tools that are getting feedback from our ad campaign result, and AI helps us to improve future ad campaigns. And of course, like there's a huge opportunity to apply AI for trading and risk management, I think. And if I talk about the other side of the market, not about our company's internal application use cases, but from the trader side, I see that more and more people are using this, how do they call it, wipe coding, to use prompts to create trading robots. Because before that it was like very specific. If you're using MT5, let's say, and you want to create your own algorithm or robot, you needed to reach out some developer that can help you with this.
Right.
Now people are trying to do like on their own, just using AI tools.
And this level of sophistication trickles into your audience or not yet?
I have been working with some people that are using AIs that they have wipe code themselves. So it is starting to take place in the market.
Sounds good. Before we proceed and wrap up, do we have any questions from the crowd? I think it's a good time to open the floor. You have a rare opportunity to gain insight into the sort of stuff that usually consultants take a lot of money for. So if you have any questions, anything you wanted to know.
I suppose it's probably a stupid question, but since your average deposit is like $50 to $5,000, so what form of gold are you trading then? Is it fractional? Is it in what format are you trading for that kind of small deposits amounts?
It's for me, right?
I don't take deposit at all, so I guess so.
Okay, but we have to look at the whole picture. You're right, this 500 to 5,000 is a small amount. That's why for Thailand and Vietnam or even other Southeast Asia market or Philippines, I can share with you like for Philippines, in good days, every day we can open like more than 100 accounts in one day. So it is the quantity. Yeah, so, but if you zoom in, definitely each account can only give you that much. But this also say a lot about, you know, the economy or the GDP per capita in this country. So they're not rich.
In what format are they buying the gold through your platform then? It's not by ounce, right? They're not playing futures gold. Which instrument?
It's not futures gold.
So it's fractional.
For ours,
GLD,
it's a CFD gold. So we do give like leverage, right? So our leverage depends is start from 100 to 500. So they can still buy, they can still trade. Yep.
Okay, thank you.
And I can add to that a little bit because also what is very, very popular in Southeast Asian markets is using cent accounts so that they can trade even smaller fractions of the lot. So yeah, to add to what TC said, so it's cent accounts in combination to a bit higher leverages that they can use.
Any other questions from the audience?
I have a question on Vietnam. Is it true that the regulator in Vietnam does not officially allow FX CFD? Because I had a broker, so I'm from Dev Experts, and we had a broker who signed up with us, and in a month had to close down shop and move out of Vietnam. So I'm curious.
I will just repeat the question for those who haven't heard. Is it true that the Vietnamese regulator does not allow at all, if I get it right, FX or CFDs trading? The lady here is from Dev Experts. They had a client from Vietnam and he closed quite quickly.
So just let me do a quick check about, is there any police or anyone around? So maybe, but we can talk about this privately. Yeah, I think it's better. Thank you.
Okay, and I think that on this note, before we wrap up, none of this is for quote, by the way. Before we wrap up, we started with a thing you dislike or are still struggling with in the market. We talked about a saturated market, about hiring the wrong people. Let's end on a high note with a thing you absolutely love about the culture, the business, the place you operate in. One thing.
This one definitely I can answer.
We turned the cameras on again, it's fine.
Okay, the thing I like the most, okay, talking about not just Vietnam, is people again. Why? Because I like talking to people. I like to learn about their different culture. And of course the food, right? And then of course the local language. I think each language carry different, not same meaning, but different accents will tell you like, express their culture in a different way. So I find it quite interesting. Although unfortunately, I still couldn't speak in Thai or Vietnam, you know. I do not have Thai-Vietnam girlfriend yet, so that's why. But yeah, you know, people, food, culture, this is what I like.
How about you? You've been like 8 years in Thailand, at least?
8 plus, yeah, almost 9 at
Okay.
this point. So I also love the people. I like the culture. It's very different from any other cultures. It adds a layer of challenges because you have to understand some specific aspects of the culture before working there. People mostly don't speak English. So, if we talk about these things that I like in connection to the industry is that as the culture is very community-based and relationship and reputation-based, if you get to that point that you earn their trust and a little bit of maybe their respect, then if you become like a small part of this bigger community, it can be really rewarding. They can be really loyal to you. They can stick to your brand. They can advocate your brand. They can be like informal brand ambassadors for you. So this is what I absolutely love about the
Great.
culture.
So respect still has the highest ROI. Great. Please give a warm round of applause for our speakers who really went out of the way to share insight, to educate us all about these places. Thank you very much. We will soon have here a panel about prediction markets, also not for quote. So stay tuned. Thank you.